Hi everyone, Amy here, and today I have a revisit to a prior card idea about not wasting your ink. So I have this gorgeous vintage lace 3D embossing folder from Altenew. Sorry, my camera was slow to focus there. But this actually does have an optional stencil as well. I'm not actually going to use the stencil today, but I just wanted to show it to you. I'm just going to use the embossing folder, and I'm going to use residual ink, and here's a photo of the finished card. So I did do a card similar to this that was rainbow and using up residual ink and basically cleaning my blending brushes, but it was such a popular video that I thought I would revisit it with some new colors and with a new embossing folder. So basically I just have a panel of heavyweight cardstock here. I did spritz it with water so it could really, bend those paper fibers around this beautiful design, and I ran it through off screen through my embossing machine. I have a Spellbinders Platinum 6, and look at this design. I just love this one. I think it's pretty unique compared to a lot of the other florals because of that cool lacy element on the back. So here's the idea, guys. I don't ever clean my brushes unless I need to move to a different color, which is not very often. You're not going to see me cleaning my brushes. I leave the ink on there and then I come back and use it on another card. So don't waste that ink. You can clean your blending brushes and create a card all in the same shot. So these are likely Catherine Pooler inks. Those are typically the dye inks that I use. The other dye inks that I will use from time to time, especially for neutrals, are my Distress Ink mini ink cube pads. But chances are this is Catherine Pooler inks that you're looking at here. And as you can see, I've got quite a bit of residual ink. So you can see how fast I'm making this gorgeous, colorful card. It came together in less than 5 minutes. So basically, if you have your card bases ready to go and you have some panels cut, throw it in an embossing folder and then use up that ink and clean your blending brushes. It's a win-win, right? So here I'm just going to add a little bit of shimmer. I have this really pretty shimmer spray that I'm going to spritz all over it. And then I'm also going to add some splatter with my Yuli watercolors. So I'm going to use my water brush pen just to put a little tiny bit of water in there to kind of activate this ink, but it's a really pretty glittery gold color. And ultimately I'm just going to splatter that all over the front of the card. So you can see the water droplets from the really glittery stuff. If I were to shine a light on it, then you would really see how much glitter comes from that glitter spray. It's pretty crazy, but it's very pretty in person. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this watercolor and kind of smush it down onto the edge of an acrylic block. And then I'm just going to use the edge of it just to flick the paint splatter all over this panel. So really super easy. You can see all that glitter in there too. It's really gorgeous. It's really pigmented, high quality stuff. So I get it from Etsy, and I will link it as well as all the other products in the video description box below if you're curious about anything. But this is my favorite way to kind of lay down ink splatter, just to add a little bit more visual interest to the front of the card. So once this dries, I will attach it directly to a card base, and I have been using 120-pound accent opaque. I've gotten my hands on some of that, but I do need to pick a sentiment here, so I'm just going to flip through my sentiment book. And as you saw, I did ultimately end up picking a little die cut thank you to put in the lower right of this composition. And this is my storage solution. I'm able to keep a lot of things on hand and save time, not having to stop and, die cut out a sentiment or stamp a sentiment to finish up my card. So this is a really pretty metallic cardstock that I had on hand, and I'm just going to kind of fit what I don't use back into these they're baseball card pockets, and this is how I like to store everything. So basically I'm going to use my artist tack. This is one of my favorite means for attaching little thin die cuts to my cards, just because I tend to get a little frustrated with liquid glue. I'm not a fan of the liquid glue oozage, and this takes care of it for me. So puts a ton of little micro dots of glue on the back, and I can slap this down in the lower right. And that's going to finish the card. So super simple. You can, like I said, multitask and clean your brushes while creating a beautiful card. And yeah, there you go. There's not much to it. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.